We want to bring in now Washington Post reporter Amber Phillips. She joins us now from D.C. And Amber, I want to start with the back and forth over these wiretapping allegations. The White House really doesn't appear to be backing down from the president's accusation. So where might the standoff between the president and the FBI director be headed at this point?
I think it's headed for more drama between the two men who, as you guys accurately point out, neither of which like to stand down from a battle. That's not good news for Director Comey. He's already in a weak position. You know, he asked the Justice Department to refute the wiretapping claims the president made. They haven't, for whatever reason. There are some Republicans who say, hey, Donald Trump, we need you to bring us evidence before we can even consider these claims. But there are also some top Republicans like Devin Nunes, chair of the House Intelligence Committee, who has not dismissed the president's wiretapping claims out of hand and even suggested he'd wrap it into an investigation. And so I think Director Comey is in a weakened position here if this ends up becoming a battle of the two titans of the executive branch.
Do you think we'll ever actually hear directly from Director Comey?
I am not ruling it out. This man has proven to be a man who acts on what he thinks is principled at the time. The most underlying example of that is Hillary Clinton's emails when 11 days before the campaign, he was widely criticized for kind of reopening the investigation and then closing it real quickly. 11 days for the election, excuse me. And I think that he's a man who's going to act on what he thinks is right, regardless of the political consequences.
I want to turn now to the Republican health care plan that was released yesterday. Lots of people talking about this. We have to assume here that not many Democrats are going to support the bill. So let's say no Democrats support it. Republicans can't lose more than 2 Republican votes in the Senate and 22 in the House. That's a very narrow margin. So what are the chances this legislation actually passes?
Republican leaders have their work cut out for them, just like Democratic leaders had their work cut out for them 8 years ago or so when they were considering their own health care reform legislation. Look, I think you have a lot of different factions within the Republican Party right now who all want different things. You have some Western state GOP senators who say, please don't pull the rug out from under our Medicaid recipients. That'll really cost our states a lot of money. On the other side of the political spectrum within the Republican Party, you have conservatives like Rand Paul or the very conservative House Freedom Caucus saying, let's not use taxpayer money to give people or to help subsidize people's health insurance. That's just Obamacare light in their words. So I think Republicans are realizing that even if you win Congress, even if you win the White House, it's not that easy to just pass whatever laws you want.
Yeah, indeed. And of course, the president is tweeting about this, or at least one tweet, right? So this is what he put out. Our wonderful new health care bill is now out for review and negotiation. Obamacare is a complete and total disaster, is imploding fast. I think the word that really sort of jumps out is negotiation. What do you make of that? I don't want to read too much into his tweets, but, it's the art of the deal.
Right. No, I think you're absolutely right. First, the first half of the tweet, I think Republican leaders who support this bill were super excited to hear the president thinks that it's wonderful, because quite honestly, nobody was really sure where the president would stand on what kind of bill. So it's good news for Republican leaders who like this bill. The negotiation part, I think you're absolutely right to point out, is a savvy recognition on President Trump's part that this bill as is probably not going to pass the Republican Congress. There's going to be some changes.
Lastly, Amber, before we let you go, on that revised travel ban, I talked to a lot of people yesterday who said this is headed for another legal challenge. If that happens, talk about the results being maybe different this time around than they were the first time. Sure.
So it really starts with what the courts are looking at with this ban. The first court cases that temporarily paused this ban weren't looking at the substance of it, the constitutionality. All these federal judges were saying is, I think there's enough evidence to suggest that this ban is hurting innocent travelers. Let's pause it while we figure out all these other substance questions about the ban. Now that we have a new ban, those substance questions, the constitutionality of it, is this a religious test, we'll have to start all over in court. And I agree with your experts that there's every sign that groups on the left and civil liberties groups are going to challenge this right away. I think their lawyers working on it right now.
All right, Amber Phillips of the Washington Post, we appreciate your time, Amber.
Thank you.